Horizon is going to release like around the same time as Zelda Breath of the Wild, both open world RPGs. So does this matter? Here to discuss with me is of course Tech Sharps. Hey man.
Well, hello there.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. There's some good games around the corner I can't wait to play. So,
Those good games are like Horizon Zero Dawn or...
well, I'm personally playing an MMO soon alongside
yeah.
Horizon. So, yeah.
I want to see that. No, anyway, of course, Horizon Zero Dawn is launching on February 28th on the PS4 and like on March 3rd, like 2 days later than the European Horizon Zero Dawn release, because Horizon Zero Dawn will launch 1 day later in Europe and the UK on March 1st. So that Friday, 2 days later, Zelda Breath of the Wild and the Switch will launch as well. And of course, both are open world RPGs. And I already saw a lot of people discuss this a little bit. Like, does this matter? Is Horizon Zero Dawn going to be less successful because Zelda, obviously one of the biggest gaming franchises, is also coming out with a highly anticipated game? On the other hand, of course, they are on a different platform. So do you think this matters?
I mean, not really. When it really comes down to it, I mean, there's two different demographics at play here. I know Zelda fans are probably gonna get mad at me, but this is like straight up facts. And Zelda is a little bit more targeted towards younger people, which is sort of what Nintendo just sort of does. You know, a lot of colors, not really a lot of violence in terms of like blood and gore and stuff like that, less mature themes. Where with Horizon, it's a little bit more mature themes. It seems like it's going to be more sort of gritty, a little bit more brutal in a sense. And it might have a bit more of a mature storyline as well. I haven't really dug too much into what their intended lore is, but I assume that's the case just by looking at it. So on the surface, just as an average consumer going into a store, there's obviously two demographics at play there. So I think that's going to do a good job of separating this up away from them contending from one another. Then if you look at the hardcore gamer, the people like myself who still would love to play Zelda, and a lot of other older folks out there that love Zelda, will they want to play Horizon as well? Probably, maybe, possibly, but when it really comes down to it, I think that those people are just going to automatically go to Zelda because it's something that they probably want to play more. They may already be Zelda fans and maybe not already, be Horizon fans, because I mean, Horizon's a new IP. It's kind of hard to be a fan of a new IP. You could be hyped for one, but you can't really be a fan of something that you haven't played yet. And then with like Zelda, that's already established, they're automatically just gonna flock to that if they own a Wii U or if they are gonna buy a Switch. And if they buy a Switch, then their wallet's gonna be drained and they're not gonna buy Horizon. So it will affect a little bit. I think in terms of sales though, in the grand scheme of things, in the grand picture, we're not really going to see much of that there, but I do see that there's probably gonna be more people buying Horizon and buying Zelda even over time, that are definitely going to possibly own or beat both over that period of time.
I think you're right about that. Like I also said, like Zelda is something huge, and this game was announced like way too early. First, of course, as a Wii U title, and the game will launch on the Wii U and the Switch, of course, as well. So I think that for example, for people that just have a PS4 and are not really interested in the Switch, and I think a lot of people are, and also the Switch, they're planning to sell 2 million copies in the first month for the Switch. Of course, they're releasing on March 3rd, so they had this whole month with probably 2 million Switches. So you might be interested in Zelda, but maybe you can't find it because it's sold out everywhere. So I think that will help. And I think what is interesting about it is maybe the mind share. I mean, what if the Horizon reviews, they will drop sooner than Zelda? Obviously, the game is coming out a little bit sooner, but I think for Zelda, the reviews are tricky. I mean, is Nintendo going to send out Wii U copies for the game? Because nobody has a Switch. Or are they going to give some selected press and YouTubers the Switch already, and then also Zelda to review the game? Or will they just send a Switch out on launch day with Zelda? So then you maybe not have reviews of Zelda at launch. So that could also change. And what do you think in terms of quality? Of course, this is also some sort of fanboy stuff going on. What game will be better? Both open world RPGs. One is looking obviously way more impressive because it's running on a way better hardware. And of course the setting is like super unique, while of course the Zelda setting is something we've already seen, but now in an open world. I played Zelda already, really liked it. Can't wait to try out Horizon. But do you think that maybe if people play Horizon, then switch over to Zelda, Zelda might feel outdated because it's mostly made for a way older platform, the Wii U? Or do you think that it's like both will be great games and you can't really compare it?
It's really hard because when it really comes down to it, Zelda, for me at least, knowing that I've played a handful of Zelda games, even if I don't care too much about the storyline that the game presents, I care about the world and I care about completing the game because the mechanics are sound, they're fun, they're engaging and just enjoyable. Where hopping into like a game with like Horizon, I may not really have as much leeway in that regard, where I hop into it, I see those beautiful graphics, but maybe the gameplay doesn't feel as solid, doesn't feel as enjoyable. Maybe it feels like another game that I've played before. Like maybe I personally haven't played it, but maybe I'll go in there and be like, oh, it kind of feels like the aiming and the whole archery of like a Tomb Raider game or whatever, and mixed with robots and stuff, and it just boils down to a generic platformer. Like I don't really know yet because I haven't really played it, so it's really hard for me to think in that respect.
Reviews have been very positive. Oh, previews have been very positive.
That's true, but Dragon Age Inquisition won Game of the Year back in 2014, 2013 or whatever. So critics can only really do so much to excite me. It's really the less mainstream reviewers that I always wait for, because those tend to be the more hardcore gamer, not just the hop to game gamer. And so it's one of those things where I look at Horizon, I see the potential, but I know for a fact that Zelda is going to be great. And I'm not even buying it, and I'm saying that. I just know that because it's a Zelda game. It's going to be a good Zelda game, just from everything I've seen, because Nintendo treats their IPs fairly well. And it just looks like it's a good title that a lot of people are going to enjoy. But going from the platform to the platform, I see what you're going at there. If this was a realistic looking Zelda game, I could see that, because it would look pretty bad probably, because the power is just not there to do something like that. But since it has sort of the more normal Zelda art style going for it, I don't see it really being an issue. I think most people are going to play it and have a fun time with it, see it for what it is probably in terms of the graphics, but really look at it and enjoy it because of its gameplay and what it actually is, which is a Zelda game, an open world, a vast open world from what we've seen. And so, yeah, Horizon's beautiful, but it's not I don't think it's a big deal.
I would argue otherwise, of course. I haven't played it as well, but with the reviews dropping as soon, maybe if you watch this, the reviews have already dropped. So it's super interesting. They're very confident at Sony that they will release the reviews like 8 days before the release. So there is something going on there, and with the good previews and all the stuff we've seen, looks very promising. But I think that what it all comes down to is that it will be two fantastic games, and that we as gamers are the winners here. And of course, you can't buy everything. I totally understand that, but I think for a lot of people that already have the PS4, they will choose Horizon, and people that want to buy the Switch, like you said, they will play Zelda as first, because they bought this new system, want to play a game on it, and Zelda will be that game. I think the only thing that could really shake this out is that really impacts this is the mindshare, and that maybe the commercials that you see on the web, where of course Nintendo is really going to push this new hardware, and Horizon, Sony also wants to push that really hard. So I think that internally they are like struggling with, I want to have ad space here, I want to have a sponsored video for this game there, while maybe they were doing a Switch sponsored video already, or someone like that. it's like two huge commercial games and two huge investments coming out in the same week. So I think that they are going to battle a little bit, but we as gamers, I mean, it sucks if you're really looking forward to Horizon and Zelda as well. What are you going to play? I mean, both games are easily 30 hours, something like that. Personally, I will play Horizon hopefully before the release, so then when Zelda comes out, I can jump on that. But yeah, I'm in a sort of unique position there. But
Yeah.
you're going to play Horizon, right? You skip Zelda because you will not buy the Switch yet.
Yeah, I have it lined up on GameFly. I've had it on there for a while now. From my experience, that pretty much means I'll be getting it. I don't really think that I won't get it. I've never had an issue with like newly released titles on GameFly, so that's what I'll be doing with it. I'm not gonna drop the full 60 on it because I don't know if I'm just gonna randomly drop it and come back to it in however long. Like I just don't. It's really hard for me to drop that 60 anymore without knowing what I'm getting into. Now, if the game is really good, then of course I'll give them more money and everything like that. But it's a new IP. I struggle with new IPs, and I think a lot of people do as well, which is why, as exciting as this game is, I think that people who are traditionally Zelda fans that like what they see with Horizon are just going to default to Zelda for the time being, and then wait until they have the funds in order to get Horizon. But I think that's still a small amount of people compared to some other comparisons we can make, like during November of last year with all the shooters that released and the causation of Titanfall 2 struggling, even though it was a really great game commercially and critically. I mean, not commercially, but critically. And then also Dishonored, because there was such a high frequency of big behemoths there, just got crumbled because it wasn't as big. It didn't hold as much weight. And so if this was any other open world RPG going against Horizon, I think that we could talk about this. But Nintendo fans have proven to be somewhat predictable in the sense that they're going to stick with their camp, and Sony fans tend to stick with their camp. And Sony has a large enough install base, and they've marketed this game long enough where people know that it's out there. And they knew around, what was it, like a month or two ago, we knew the exact release date, or 3 months ago? I think
for Zelda?
No, for Horizon.
Oh, for Horizon. No. This was like announced at E3. They delayed it to February.
Oh, okay. I thought they delayed it again or something like that. So we've known for a while now when it was going to release, and of course then we heard Zelda later after that point. And so yeah, I don't see a big issue here. Like I said, if it was a higher frequency of these games releasing, it wasn't just two from two very distinct brands with two very distinct flavors here, I think that there would be an issue with them both being an open RPG. But because they're so distinct in other ways, I just don't see it being a problem.
Yeah, I think you're right. And yeah, like I said, we will win. Like the gamers
definitely
will win, because I think both games look very promising and both will be great. One is on a new platform, and of course on an older one that you can't even buy anymore, and the other one is on the most successful piece of hardware on the market right now. So I think both games will do fine. Personally, I'm more leaning towards Horizon because it's a new IP. Really like the stuff they have going on with the setting. And Zelda, I know what I can expect from that, but I still can't wait to play it. Anyway, thanks a lot, Zach, for discussing this topic with me. We of course have way more gaming discussions up on the channel. Let us know what you think. Does this matter, the release of Zelda and Horizon close to each other? Let us know in the comments down below. Subscribe for way more gaming discussions, like the video if you did, and I will speak to you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.